Hey, what's going on everybody? Commander Crane here, and we are back with another Pioneer deck tech, and today we're going to be talking about the newest version of budget Golgari food. I am very excited to share this list with you. As always, at the end of the video, let me know in the comment section, is there a specific card that I forgot to include in this deck, or just suggestions for upcoming videos? Just let me know in the comment section. And speaking of suggestions, huge shout out to Adrian, longtime viewer here on the channel, was asking if we could do an updated version of the budget Golgari food list. So for those who aren't aware, I want to say it was about 6 months ago, we did a really spicy Golgari food list, and it was just like a really fun food matters value deck for the most part. But now, because of some new additions from Bloomborough, Golgari food is actually like a real deck in Pioneer. You know, we kind of did it before it was cool, you know, so I guess credit to us, you know, for doing budget Golgari food before it was really good and really cool. So these are the cards that are really popular in the deck now. Scavenger's Talent and Yigra, sorry if I mispronounced that, Eater of All. So we're playing both of these cards here, but the main thing I wanted to mention, you know, obviously in addition to the new cards that really made it popular, is we're playing a new card from Duskmourn that really helps this deck. And the last thing I want to mention is we're playing, it's a little bit of a hybrid. We're playing a list similar to the Golgari food decks that you currently see, but also having some spice from the original list a while ago. So let's just go ahead and start right on here. So Scavenger's Talent is absolutely fantastic. It actually helps you go, it's one of the combos with Yigra. So whenever you sacrifice a permanent, target player mills 2 cards, and then obviously we do the thing with Cauldron Familiar and Witch's Oven, so we just sacrifice permanents. We have 2 of the cats with Yigra, so we sacrifice the cat, and then it, you know, we drain the opponent, and then it comes back because it's a food, and boom. So there's a couple different combos you can do in this deck, but Scavenger's Talent is also just a really good card, and Yigra is also just pretty solid as a whole. So the new card that really makes this deck sweet is Popular Egotist. It was actually in my top like 10-12 cards from Duskmourn for Pioneer, so if you haven't seen that video, you definitely should check it out. But this card is really good because whenever you sacrifice a permanent, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So it's very similar to Mayhem Devil. And the biggest thing in the past, before Golgari food started getting a lot of really spicy cards, was, you know, Golgari food is a solid deck, but, you know, Rakdos and Jund gets Mayhem Devil. But now, if you just want to play Golgari, you have your sort of Mayhem Devil, which is better but worse at the same time just because it's a drain instead of just dealing 1 to any target. So definitely a huge fan of the Popular Egotist. It definitely helps this deck tremendously. So the rest of the deck, what else are we playing? Obviously 4 Cauldron Familiar and 4 Witches Oven. It is the core of the entire deck. You know, if we get an opening hand with a couple lands in either one of these, it's pretty much a keep just about every single time because it makes the deck work as a whole. So this next slide here is some of the spice from the last deck that I really wanted to keep in here, but it still also makes sense with the deck. So 4 Gilded Goose technically helps us go a little bit faster just because we do have a mana accelerant, but you know, having that extra mana to make more food tokens is just fantastic. So definitely a huge fan of the Gilded Goose. We're still playing Greta Sweet Tooth Scourge. I love this card. It makes a food token. We can tap a green, sacrifice food, put a 1/1 counter on a creature, and then we can tap 2, 1 and a black, sacrifice food, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. It's just a really good card. That's why we're playing 2 copies of Greta, and then we're also playing 4 copies of Wicked Wolf, which I've always loved this card so much, and I really love this jumpstart art. When it enters, it fights up to 1 target creature you don't control, and then you can sacrifice a food to put a +1/+1 counter on it. It gains indestructible until end of turn and tap it. I just like this card right now because of a lot of the aggro decks going around right now, and having a little bit of extra removal on top of a really nice creature is just solid. Control decks really have a pain getting this off the battlefield just because unless they have an exile effect, we can just sacrifice our extra food tokens to keep it around. It's just really good. So definitely a huge fan of the Wicked Wolf in this deck. And then rounding out our deck, we are obviously playing 4 Deadly Dispute and 4 Fatal Push, which is, you see that in every version. And then we're also playing 2 copies of Assassin's Trophy. I ultimately decided to play this over like Bitter Triumph just because, simply put, Assassin's Trophy answers absolutely everything. It's one of the best reasons to be in Golgari for really anything. You have answers to every single card type, which is fantastic. So that's the entire main board. Let's go and hop into our lands real quick. So we are a budget list, so we're just playing all the budget dual lands. 4 Blooming Marsh, 4 Land of Warriors, and 4 Woodland Cemetery. These are the cheapest / best options for us. You know, obviously we could play, you know, like the green black temple and such like that, but In terms of just untapped dual lands, these are our best options. So that's why we're playing all those. And then it's just simple. We're playing a whole bunch of basics, 7 swamps and 3 forests. We don't have to worry about any channel lands or anything crazy like that. Just a really, really simple mana base. And obviously Duskmourn is the newest set. We had to feature the very, very sweet Duskmourn full arts. Huge fan of these basics. If you haven't picked them up, I definitely would, because the art is absolutely fantastic. So a couple things we still have to talk about. We still have to talk about our sideboard, as well as some upgrade options for the deck. So sideboarding is going to be really, really simple. We're going to want some graveyard hate. Again, we can't play effects that are symmetrical. Just play Leyline of the Void. What's also really sweet is it was just reprinted in Duskmourn, so it's even cheaper. I remember when I bought mine a couple months ago for like $4 a piece, and I thought that that was a bargain, and then now you can get a playset for about $4, which is pretty cool. So definitely get some Leyline of the Voids. You're definitely going to want Duress. Duress is a fantastic sideboard card. There's a reason why it still sees played to this day. Definitely play 4 copies of that. I've always been a big fan of Necromentia, and I still want it in this sideboard. It's really nice against our opponents who are really relying on 1 or 2 specific cards to be able to win the game or maximize value or prevent us from winning the game. So just having access to Necromentia is just absolutely fantastic. And then there's Damping Sphere. Damping Sphere is Damping Sphere. Really, enough said. It's just a really fantastic sideboard card. The other thing is, too, I didn't mention this, but our opponent is going to be playing... They're going to be bringing in all their graveyard hate against us, so I would definitely have some number of Abrupt Decays or even more Assassin's Trophies in the sideboard to be able to take out their Leyline of the Voids and their Grafdigger's Cage and Soulless Jailer if they're playing it, so just be aware of that. They're going to bring cards to hate on us for sure. And then the last thing we have to talk about is the upgrade options, which is really simple. Upgrade the dual lands and the utility lands. It's simple. Put in your Overgrown Tombs, your Takanumas, your Besejus, your Hive of the Eye Tyrants. That's kind of the main thing. And then also adding Thoughtseize. That's pretty much it. I mean, in terms of, playing a non-budget list, I mean, it's pretty close. Again, the current list right now is only $118 US, which is incredibly cheap. And I'll be honest with you, I think that this is one of the strongest budget lists we've ever done on the channel. I don't know what it is, but just building this deck, I'm like, wow, like this deck is fantastic. I really, really like this. The last thing I want to mention is if you're looking to upgrade it, I would maybe consider Jund Food. All you do is you put in like a Blood Tithe Harvester and like Fable the Mirror Breaker, and that's it. It's pretty much just Golgari Foods splashing those 2 really, really good cards. So I would definitely consider that if you're looking to fully upgrade this deck. But if you're looking for a sweet budget list and you like the food decks and you like Cauldron Familiar, or if you just like Golgari mid-range decks, I think this would be the perfect deck for you. And definitely let me know in the comment section below if you do end up building this deck. So that takes us to the end of the video here. Thanks so much for watching. The deck list for this is in the description below if you'd like to check it out for yourself. Huge shout out to our channel members, Ralph, Matt, Arcadius, Ray, Gary, and Sarwanoki. If you are interested in being a channel member, it's only $1 US a month. You get access to the exclusive Discord, as well as other features here on the channel. So, I'm Commander Crane. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope to catch you in the next one.